Royal Radio on Siren Radio with Jasmine Foley, Natalie Hayes-Cowley, and some of the finest theatricals on the planet.
I like the way your sparkling earrings lay against your skin so brown, and I wanna sleep with you in the desert tonight, with a billion stars all around, 'cause I got a peaceful I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing on the ground. And I found out a long time ago what a woman can do to your soul. But she can't take you anyway. You don't already know how to go. And I got a peaceful, easy feeling, and I know you won't let me down, 'cause I'm already standing on the ground. I get this feeling I may know you as a lover and a friend, but this voice keeps whispering in my other ear, tells me I may never see you again, 'cause I get a peaceful,
And we always get a peaceful, easy feeling when we have another Royal Radio upon us, even if we're using the time machine to look back in time at a sellout production of the Illegal Eagles on the 11th of May. Jasmine, welcome once again to your show, Royal Radio.
Hello, are you okay?
Very good indeed. It's also a delight to be able to welcome Ollie Rushby as well. Ollie, welcome back.
Thanks very much, Alex.
Marvellous. Okay, now let's not mess about because there's so much to pack into this production. It's just unbelievably wonderful on this fine third Wednesday of the month, which is normally inspired on air, but it is, of course, a Royal Radio takeover today. And if we move straight away to the 24th of May and 25th of May, we see potentially a very scary number The Devil's Bride is lined up from that, and who better to talk about The Devil's Bride than the director extraordinaire of Rumpus Theatre Company? That'd be John Goodrum. How are you, John?
I'm fine, thank you, Alex. Good morning.
And welcome to Royal Radio now. Aspiring 17th century painter Gottfried Schalken seeks an apprenticeship with famous artist Gerard Douy and falls in love with Douy's niece Rose. But that's not all there is to it in terms of The Devil's Bride, is it, John?
No, absolutely not. This is a new play based on a Victorian ghosty, devilly story, very much in the Dracula sort of line of things. This young painter, he wants to be a famous painter, but so he gets himself apprenticed to this famous artist and falls in love with his niece, who's a very beautiful girl, Rose. But little does he know that the famous artist who he's apprenticed to achieved his fame by making a pact with the devil to give up to the devil the thing he held most dear in exchange for becoming a famous artist.
See, it's not big and it's not clever. I mean, you would have thought after Faust, they would have actually learnt, really. I mean, they were sort of Faustian pact.
There is history on all of this, isn't there? They should know about it. But, where would be the story in that? So it all unravels as you would imagine. We love coming back to the New Theatre Royal in Lincoln. We've been there quite a few times, Rumpus, in the past. Most recently, we came last year with another ghosty story, Dickens' The Signalman, which we came with last spring, which I was in. I was the eponymous signalman in that one, and I'm going to be the famous artist in The Devil's Bride when it comes on Friday and Saturday.
John, honestly, sometimes I just say there's just no limit to your talents and skills. It's wonderful. You haven't signed a pact with Mr. Satan, have you, in betwixt times, for enormous talent, and you've sort of given your soul away? No, surely not.
No. Only with the lovely New Theatre Royal.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different like that. Jasmine, any questions you'd like to put to John about The Devil's Bride?
Yeah, so obviously you said you've obviously been with us before, and you brought another kind of horror play before as well. So I'm wondering I love watching a good horror in a traditional theatre. I think there's something really special about that, but I was just wondering what keeps drawing you to doing these kind of horror type plays?
Well, as you'll know from our visits to the Theatre Royal, we do cover quite a wide range of plays. We came last autumn with The 11th Hour, which was a lovely First World War play to tie in with the centenary of that. But somehow we've got into the habit each autumn, and this is sort of carrying on from our last autumn tour, of doing a Halloween-y play as the nights get dark or as the nights are just getting light again. And people love it. We very much make it audience-friendly. It's scary but not horrific. It's in the kind of hammer horror, fun horror style, if you know what I mean. And audiences love coming to a traditional theatre, like you say, and being scared in a safe environment. We don't reach out from the stage and get them, well, not every time. And
There's also something quite gothic at times about the New Theatre Royal Lincoln. I know it's 125 years old, and 126 years, but somehow you think that sort of notion of, whoa, echoes and various other bits and pieces there. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, when you're in there first thing in the morning or last thing at night, getting the set out after the show's finished, you do feel quite spooked sometimes by all the dark corners of the place.
Just don't talk about the Scottish play, or if you do, then spin rounds and various other things. No, it's not on at all. Ollie.
Hi, John, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks, Ollie.
Okay, good. I believe you're not the only returning actor in this, are you? You've got a couple of other guys along with you as well?
Yes, there's me in it. As I say, I've been before in Raffles and Father Brown and the Signalman and all those. We've got lovely David Martin coming back, who's a Rumpus regular, who played the main soldier in the 11th Hour last autumn and was in Raffles as well. But we've got lovely newcomer Natalie Griffin, who's touring with Rumpus for the first time, and she's a thoroughly talented young girl playing the artist's niece, Rose.
looks as though it's going to be absolutely unmissable for the 24th of May. That's Friday, and Saturday the 25th of May, I should say. The day after, obviously. It's been a long day, John. Sometimes you just think, well, so on and so forth. Are you actually on tour through any other sort of venues you'd like to just promote, or is there a way in which people can actually stay in touch with the Devil's Bride?
This one is this Theatre Royal marks the culmination of this tour. We've been out to venues all through the autumn and in the spring. We just finished at the Theatre Royal in Windsor. But then we are coming back to the new Theatre Royal in the autumn with a Dickens whodunit thriller called The Black Veil, which is coming to you in September. So it'd be nice to talk about that again then.
It's just awesome. And indeed, we now need to actually ask you possibly a task which is... It's just, I don't know where to start with this one. We can offer you, musically speaking, the Charlie Daniels Band, The Devil Went Down to Georgia, Suzi Quatro, Devilgate Drive, or two versions of Sympathy for the Devil, either Brian Ferry, Sympathy for the Devil, see what we're doing here, or the Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil. I could have thrown in Cliff Richard, Devil Woman, but I thought that'd be too scary, in all sorts of ways, far too scary.
Mustn't go too far.
Please. We've got Sooty coming on the show later on. You can't go too right down that line, not at all. So, which one would you go for, John?
Oh, I think it would have to be Suzi Quatro all down the line.
You've gone for Suzi Quatro.
There you go.
Jasmine, this was a hit before you were born.
Oh, I can't wait to.
She used to wear a lot of leather. She used to do Top of the Pops on a Thursday night. Actually, Ollie as well. Before you were born, I suspect, Suzi Quatro. She now has a radio show on Radio 2. It's another station. I know it's difficult. They don't carry a Royal Radio. But Suzi Quatro, Devilgate Dive. In fact, actually, in character, John, would you like to just introduce this particular number as we say farewell to your good self?
Thank you. Yes. Well, my name is Gerard Dow. I'm a famous artist. I made a pact with the devil, and I'd love you to hear this wonderful number by Suzi Quatro.
Hey, y'all wanna go down to Devilgate Drive? Come on!
Welcome to the dive.
When I'm feeling fine, I can do that.
frightening in its own way, but still somehow wonderful. A Midsummer Night's Dream will not be featuring Devilgate Drive by Suzi Quatro, but it will be featuring some of the awesome costumes and indeed fantastic props that will be made by Quantum's finest ever artistic director, and that will be the fabulous Jessica Selous. How are you, Jessica?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you.
Jessica, I suspect rather like Ollie and Jasmine and the studio, you're far too young to remember Suzi Quatro with Devilgate Drive.
I wouldn't like to say.
Exactly. There's a way forward. But on the 14th of June of this very year, 2019, Shakespeare's most enduringly popular comedy of love and intrigue, magic and mayhem will be brought to life in Lincoln by Quantum Theatre. So what is it that kind of resonates with the world when we start talking about Puck and Titania and all of those other wonderful things vis-a-vis A Midsummer Night's Dream by the Bard himself?
I think it's to do with the fact that it's midsummer, so everyone's feeling optimistic, it's sunny, it's summery, although in the play, of course, they're having terrible weather because the Titania and Oberon are having a dreadful argument in the woods. And the whole thing is tied up with magic and, crazy witchcraft and drugging of the lovers, and it's kind of, it's a wonderful farce, really, just brilliantly structured and really, really funny. So it's just a wonderful play. He's such a great playwright.
Well, as has often been said, if he was around today, he'd be writing for various TV soaps and so on. He'd be the Russell T Davies of his time.
Yes, he'd be box set man, wouldn't he?
Box set man, there's a whole new world there. But clearly, as you said, it's pretty much almost 7 days before, of course, the longest day. So it's right at the heart of Midsummer. It couldn't be better fitted, really, for the new Theatre Royal Lincoln.
Perfect. It's a perfect time to come and do it. And in beautiful little space, wonderful theatre you've got there. So we're really, really looking forward to it.
Ollie, are you looking forward to A Midsummer Night's Dream?
Oh, as ever. It's a classic. It's done everywhere. But, I mean, Jessica, what makes your production a bit different from everybody else's?
We are a company that we present our Shakespeare with real energy and vigour. It's all Shakespeare's words. We haven't changed anything. It's absolutely the text. But we are done and dusted in 2 hours, including the interval. It really goes at a lick. And it's incredibly lively. And we really try and get every inch of comedy out of it that comes from the script. We don't impose anything. But it is just... The situations are hysterical. There's a fantastic scene in the second half where the two girls are having a real cat fight because one's really tall and the other's really short, and they abuse it's so rude to each other. One calling them the other one beanpoley, and the other one going on about, oh, you've said it again, short. I get it. And so they have a handbag fight in our production, and it is really funny. And it's just we try and also kind of give you modern archetypes so you can really understand the character. So Demetrius is a bit of a wide boy. He has a bit of bling. He's in a white vest. He would be in one of those soft top cars on the beach of Cannes, and Lysander's much more preppy. So you really understand the character of the person rather than it just being sort of a gloss of everybody in Shakespearean outfits and looks Shakespearean, and you can't tell the difference between the characters. They have really distinct characters, and we really play heavily on that.
I appreciate as a female you can multitask, but how do you combine, Jessica, artistic director, prop maker, and indeed costumer as well? I mean, is it just a case of have you only got two hands to use your feet as well?
I use everything in my power. I have to allocate my time very carefully, but at the moment I'm full on sort of prop maker and costume maker and everything for the show.
I get a sense of energy that's coming through, which is quite clearly tangible on the whole system. Jasmine.
Yeah, so obviously, as we were just saying, you're clearly a woman of many talents. So I was wondering which part of the preparations for the tour of A Midsummer Night's Dream has been your favourite so far?
I think I really love the creative stuff I do. So the set painting, the costume making. I made the donkey head, the crazy donkey head that's in the show. it's those kind of creative things to give it a look and a style that is the most fun for me. I really love that. And then we start rehearsing it on tomorrow. So once the actors are in and it's all coming together, it's very exciting.
Just out of interest, quantum. I mean, we think of Quantum Leap, we think of Quantum of Solace, we think of Quantum Dynamics. What was it that kind of made you get up with the notion of quantum as a theatre company?
I think it was to do with the kind of... when we set up, which was in 1993, so it's a long time ago, it was to do with... There was a lot in the air about quantum, the kind of... the science, the kind of crazy energy, quantum energy,
mechanics,
and it
quantum dynamics.
Yeah, and it kind of
easy for you to say. Yeah, exactly, Jessica. Spot on.
So it was the kind of energy, and I think that was what appealed as a name.
It's wonderful. 1993. That's actually when I started work at the University of Humberside. Oh, there we are. Back in the day, life continues. Still, never mind. Time. Well, it's just an illusion. That's the important thing. Are tickets still available for Midsummer Night stream, Jasmine?
Yes, they are, definitely.
Can't believe that. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's just, still. Go and seize them now, because it's going to be an absolutely awesome production on Friday the 14th of June by the Quantum Theatre. I mean, I just get this sense already. I mean, I'm going to have to make it there. Any other further thoughts from yourself, Ollie?
No, I'm just still blown away by how much you actually do.
Yeah.
I struggle to handle all my emails personally, so there you go.
We're beavering away down here, getting everything ready, so it's a hive of activity.
And do you have your own personal website for Quantum Theatre you'd like to promote as well at this stage?
No, I don't. I work entirely for Quantum. It's my company that I run with my husband, so this is me.
So, well, that's all right. I was just going to say,
he's directing.
Is there a website for Quantum, or is it just a case of just finding out all the
details?
There
is a website for Quantum. Sorry, yes, there is. It's quantumtheatre.co.uk, and our whole tour is up on there. Tickets, links to Theatre Royal. So anyone that wants to get tickets and can't find your website, or they can find them via our website too, because we'll take it onto the right page. So
and whilst we're talking about multimedia, Jasmine, would you like to just share with our listener the new Theatre Royal Lincoln website? Relatively straightforward, of course.
It's just the new theatreroyallincoln.co.uk.
Marvellous. I think Fry Height is being summoned in the background here as we sense the notion of Puck changing with Titania and so on. Maybe, what do you say, Jessica, we'll be keeping the dream alive?
We certainly will. We'll be keeping that dream going all summer.
Tonight the rain is falling, full of memories of people and places, and while the past is calling in my fantasy, I remember their faces. The hopes we had were much too high, way out of reach, but we have to try. The game will never be over, because we're keeping the dream alive. I hear myself recalling things you said to me the night it all started, and still the rain is falling, makes me feel the way I felt when we parted. The hopes we had were much too high, way out of reach, but we have to try. No need to hide, no need to run, 'cause all the answers come one by one. love you. The game will never be over because we're keeping the dream alive. The hopes we had were much too high, way out of reach, but we have to try. No need to hide, no need to run, 'cause all the answers come one by one. The hopes we had were much too high, way out of reach, but we have to try. No need to hide, no need to run, 'cause all the answers come one by one. The game will never be over because we're keeping the dream alive. The game will never be over because we're keeping the dream alive. The game will never be
Ah, such a delicate touch. Not my words, but the words of Miss Caruso, an Italian spy, played by Madeline Smith, back in Roger Moore's first ever James Bond outing, Live and Let Die. Why am I talking about Bond? Because there's a James Bond concert spectacular taking place at the New Theatre Royal Lincoln on Saturday the 8th of June. I am very... You kept this very quiet, Jessica. Very excited about this. The James Bond concert spectacular. And Madeline Smith is going to be introducing it as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I feel like, doesn't everybody love James Bond? I feel like it's something for everyone, really. I'll definitely be watching it.
Well, as I was saying, Maddie, I spoke to way back, before you were born, in the 1980s. We did a couple of interviews from that point of view. We even had a wander through Dulwich Park at the time as well, after the show, etc. She'd probably forgotten all about me. But it'd be nice to actually do a little piece from that point of view. Not a major Bond girl, but at least she didn't get killed. You know, she still thrived through the whole system. She was actually resting her head on Roger Moore's chest, actually, at the opening sequence of Live and Let Die. She might perhaps not. Anyway, well worth accessing from that point of view. All this and more. Listen, I think, Ollie, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to actually go for the theme of Live and Let Die.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
It's only right. Here's Paul McCartney. Here's Wings. This is for Maddie Smith.
When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and let live. You know you did, you know you did, you know you did. But if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in and cry, say live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die. if this ever-changing world in which we live in makes you give in a cry, say live and let die.
Also, I believe the first time we actually saw 007's home residence, his flat in London, where M actually sort of turns up in the middle of the night, effectively, to send him off on a whole another mission and version there. Live and let die. Anyway, enough of such stuff. There is a Bond theme, obviously, going with respect to the James Bond Concert Spectacular on the 8th of June. Let's move on to A Smoking Gun. It's all going to connect with Sooty in the end, because if we talk about Smokie and so on, or sausages, Living Next Door to Alice is lined up next. But why are we playing this? Well, because Chris Norman is going to be visiting the Lincoln New Theatre Royal Lincoln, on Thursday the 30th of May, Chris. Isn't that exciting, Jasmine?
Yes, it is. Yeah. It's very exciting.
Not just any Chris Norman, but the original voice of the band, Smokie.
Yeah, I love it when people like this come to the theatre, when they are the original voice or they're from bands. I think it's just so nice, and you see a lot of people coming back and kind of like reminiscing, and fans and stuff, which is always nice to see. Sometimes
it's difficult because obviously the originals have actually passed on, they've moved into Heaven FM, etc., and there are some outstanding tribute bands that work through. I mean, looking ahead, we've got Steve Steinman's Anything for Love, the Meatloaf Story, featuring Lorraine Crosby, who'll be featured from that point of view, as well as a whole heap of other things. The History of Queen, Freddie Mercury clearly will not be making an appearance there, but in spirit he will be there, as Magic will take you on a musical journey through the history of Queen. That's on the 15th of June. But we ummed and ahed about a number of things here. We could have had Don't Play Your Rock and Roll to Me. We could have had I'll Meet You at Midnight. We could have had If You Think You Know How to Love Me, Oh Carol, or indeed Lay Back in the Arms of Someone. But in the end, I think we've gone for the one of their most famous particular aspects here for Smokie. It is, of course, entitled what, Chris? Or even Ollie?
Living Next Door to Alice. Try not to sing along.
Sally called when she got the word. She said, I suppose you've heard about Alice. Well, I rushed to the window and I looked outside, but I could hardly believe my eyes as a big limousine rolled up into Alice's drive. Oh, I don't know why she's leaving or where she's gonna go. I guess she's got her reasons, but I just don't wanna know. 'Cause for 24 years I've been living next door to Alice. 24 years just waiting for a chance to tell her how I feel and maybe get a second glance. Now I gotta get used to not living next door to Alice. We grew up together, two kids in the park, carved our initials deep in the bark. Me and Alice. Now she walks through the door with her head held high. Just for a moment I caught her eye as the big limousine pulled slowly out of Alice's drive. Oh, I don't know why she's leaving or where she's gonna go. I guess she's got her reasons, but I just don't wanna know. 'Cause for 24 years I've been living next door to Alice. 24 years just waiting for a chance to tell her how I feel and maybe get a second glance. Now I gotta get used to not living next door to Alice. asked how I felt, and she said, I know how to help. Get over Alice. She said, now Alice is gone, but I'm still here. You know I've been waiting for 24 years. And the big limousine disappeared. I don't know why she's leaving or where she's gonna go. I guess she's got her reasons, but I just don't wanna know. 'Cause for 24 years I've been living next door to Alice. 24 years just waiting for a chance to tell her how I feel and maybe get a second glance. But I'll never get used to not living next door to Alice. No, I'll never get used to not living next door to Alice.
I know, it's heartbreaking. Never mind. Smokie, living next door to Alice. And, well, if you're caught in the smoke, you might actually sort of get some carbon footprints. You might get sooty. See what we did there? You might indeed actually welcome, as we're waving now, to one of the men who's basically behind the joy of the magic that is Sooty and his magic show. And heaven only knows what we're going to do with Sweep's levitating sausage. Don't go there. It's the wonderful world of Richard Cadell. How are you, Richard?
It's a wonderful world. It's an absolute mad world, actually, but what a great world to live in. It's better than the real one, I'll tell you.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Sooty's right-hand man, so that's my job.
if only those Brexit talks could actually deal with Sooty's levitating sausage, it would be a whole new world. It's clearly,
the world would be a better place.
It would indeed. It would. Now, this particular thing, Sooty's Magic Show on Friday the 31st of May from 11 a.m. Izzy Wizzy, let's get busy. We still say the words. What's it like working with a magician like Sooty?
Well, it's incredible. I mean, my background is magic. I loved magic as a kid, and I became a professional magician. So then to align myself, I've done it for 20 years now, took over from Matthew Corbett as the presenter of Sooty, to align myself with, you know, probably the country's best-known magician was just a dream. And, yeah, no, I absolutely love every second of it. I mean, it's a joy, and it's great to present the show to kids who watch it on the television now, and also to their parents and grandparents who watched it when they were children. So it's unique in that respect.
We talked about the levitating sausage. In addition to that, you got Sooty's flying car, you got Sue's singing unicorn.
Yes.
And you've also got circus star Michael Jordan, not the NBL basketball player, I don't think.
No.
And ultraviolet specialities of Fantasy de la Nuit.
Indeed, it's a really jam-packed variety show, actually. So there really is something in it for everyone. It's not just sort of a little tiny counter with Sooty and Sweep behind the counter. It's a really big stage show, and as I presented the show on television and stage for 20 years, this is probably the biggest and my favourite stage show of all time. And as you rightly say, we can't wait to get to the Theatre Royal in Lincoln to show all the Lincolnites, if that's the right description.
Yes, it is.
Sooty's incredible magic, and you're right. The flying car, incidentally, is a knockout, and that's been built in Las Vegas for this show by the same builders who make for David Copperfield, and that is just the best thing I think I've ever done with Sooty, and that happens on the stage.
And of course, in so many ways, you could say Sooty's coming home because we have Lincolnshire yellow bellies, and what's Sooty? He's got a yellow belly! See what we did there? Yeah, that's what it's all about, you know. I'm waiting at least 40 minutes to actually release that on the world, Jasmine. Jasmine, would you like to take over the interviewing duties?
Yeah, so as you said, obviously you're Sooty's right-hand man, as you put it, and have been for a long time. What do you do when he's not around? Do you miss him?
Don't give me the line about holding your hand up and saying, "What's this? It's Sooty naked." It's not going to work, you know.
People do that to me quite often.
I know.
You know what? No, I actually do miss when I'm not performing with Sooty. I really do. My downtime is often sort of thinking about what more sketches and shows and gags we can do. I'm always on the lookout because it is just such an incredible thing to be part of. and he just means so much to so many people. So, you know, I live and breathe the whole world, really. And everybody that works on this show, and I've still got people that have worked on the show for 20 or 30 years. The lovely Sue, the voice of Sue is the same Sue that we all heard growing up with Matthew Corbett, and some of the people behind the scenes doing the props and the scenery are the same team. So we all just live and breathe it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it when you come up.
It is going to be awesome. And when Matthew Corbett himself says Sooty is in the right hands, or even on the right hands, Richard Cadell is as close to a Corbett as you will ever get. Genius.
Yeah, he's a great pal, Matthew. He's been a great support, and I'm very honoured that he felt that I could do it. And you know, it's as I say, it's a legacy. It's an iconic character. Everybody loves it, and I'm just privileged to bring it, take it on the road in this crazy tour we're doing. Yeah.
You see, some of us remember Harry Corbett back in the day, and we just wonder, what is it with respect to Sue, Sooty and Sweep? How do they maintain their youthfulness? I mean, are they on some sort of ginseng or something? I mean, what is it?
It's very good fabric conditioner, actually. We never put them in the spin dryer, which is I don't know. You know, I don't know how they look so great, but it's just as well they do. It's just, no, they are looking remarkably good and still survived 70 years. Sooty's 70 years old now.
Exactly.
And survived basically on the same material. He's still squirting people with his water pistol. He's still, you know, sort of doing all the, you know, the jokes and things he did with Harry Corbett. Sweep's been levitating sausages for many years.
He has.
So
exactly.
It's great that it still goes on, yeah.
It's like Prince Charles in many ways, you know, another sort of soul who's actually heading up towards 70. What the hey? Ollie, any thoughts from yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching Sooty, so I feel a bit overwhelmed at the moment. But obviously, it's
you probably feel the same thing about Sooty as I do about Madeline Smith.
Well, there you go. Yeah, we won't get back to that.
No,
too much.
Exactly.
Obviously, it's the longest running show in the world, a children's show, which is bonkers. But what do you think it is that makes it so special and popular that it's just been so long running?
Well, I think it's simplicity. It's the simplicity, and B, the slapstick nature of it, and particularly now when so many kids' products are CGI and very toned down, Sooty still delivers the heavy slapstick element. And I think it's also Sooty and Sweep are the classic double act. They are, for you know, they were the Laurel and Hardy of an era, then they became the Morecambe and Wise and the Ant and Dec, and they're just that classic double act. You have Sooty, who's clever and mischievous, and Sweep, who's stupid and gets everything wrong, and that's the formula for many successful double acts. And that's it. And it's anarchy for kids. You've got Harry Corbett, or Matthew or myself now as the adult figure, and here are these three little things running the rings around the adult, you know, covering them in custard pies and also putting them in all sorts of horrible situations as children do to their parents. And I think children watch it and they identify with that, and they see these little guys getting away with it. So yeah, I think there's lots of reasons why it survived. But Harry Corbett, who is of course, you know, the creator, and nobody can ever kind of question his thoughts, famously said when asked in an interview, you know, exactly this question, why does it work? And he said, I don't know, it just does. And I think that's it. It's got the it factor.
We could overanalyse, we could actually say, but what about Bill and Ben and Little Weed? You know, always, I mean, she wasn't going to move anywhere, was she, Little Weed? And equally, you've got the other sort of classics of Andy Pandy, Teddy and Looby Loo, which I always thought was a bit sort of unusual, where they sort of all got into the same box together. At least with respect to Sue, Sooty and Sweep, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a balanced thing. It's a bit like the Road to Morocco movies with Sue as the sort of Dorothy Lamour character, perhaps. And yeah. There we are, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope and Dorothy Lamour for sort of more chronologically gifted folk. But the magic is still there, as you say.
It is, and I think, you know, one of the things that's, other than the kids' shows you mentioned, that's been another secret to Sooty's success, is that the television show's always been live action, and it's rather being set in a kind of a fairy tale world that can get dated. It's always been in the real world, so the Sooty show's always addressed, you know, things that are happening off that time. So Sooty got an iPad and a phone and is on the computer, and you know, in my era and then in Matthew's era, they were doing things that, you know, with videotapes, and you know, they weren't stuck in a time warp. So it's always been able to, you know, live in the modern world. It's not dated, so in that respect. That might be an element to its longevity.
Constant.
But most important thing is it makes everybody laugh, and that's what we do on the stage. That's the main mission. It's just to make them laugh.
Now, as if it wasn't getting just, excitement personified, Richard, there's even the chance after the show to actually meet yourself and Sooty. Wow.
Yes. That's more popular than the show. Believe me, it can go on for as long as the show. Yeah, no, it's great. And that for me is my favourite bit of the whole thing. I love the performance on the stage, but to take Sooty into the foyer of the theatre and then I sit there and they have a photograph and meet Sooty, as long as people wait, I'll work through the whole audience, always have done, and that's when you see it. That's when you see the magic. That's when the parents tell you that they watched it with Matthew. That's when the grandparents bring their old Sooty out of their carrier bag they brought with them to show me that they've had it since they were a kid, and that's when the kids will talk to Sooty and tell them everything they want to tell him, and it's just, that's when the magic happens for me.
Hopefully, yeah. Richard, you never have a situation where you get somebody who gets so overwhelmed with the whole thing that you just say, it's too much information, just sort it out. You need therapy, honestly. You need to sort that whole thing through.
Well, you'd be amazed how many adults come to the show without kids. I mean, there's no shame in that, by the way. There's no shame in it at all, but there's always more adults in the audience than children. So
that might well be me, of course, this time around. I'm just saying, just giving fair warning, Jasmine. Just don't lie there. The sootyshow.co.uk, of course, gives you details from that point of view, as well as obviously accessing details about the 31st of May at the new Theatre Royal Lincoln. One little minor point, Richard. I noticed that there's a huge teddy bear on the cover of the summer season. Has Sooty clocked this as yet? Is he likely to be a bit of an upset? I mean, is it a case of bring him on? Because I'm just thinking, Jasmine, in many ways, Sooty, Sweep, and Sue, with respect to the teddy from the new Theatre Royal Lincoln, could be quite an interesting experience, really.
Oh, yeah, I definitely think we'll have to arrange for them to meet. Yeah.
It sounds a plan to me. A good photo opportunity for sure.
Very much so. It has been awesome, Richard. Many things to do. We cannot wait for the 31st of May, but we'll have to, because we don't want to wish our lives away. And we will speak again very soon. Take care now.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Reflections on the water, more than darkness in the depths. See him surface in every shadow. On the wind I feel his breath. Golden eye, I found his weakness. Golden eye, he'll do what I please. Golden eye, sweetness, but a bitter kiss will bring him to his knees. You'll never know how I watched you from the shadows as a child. You'll never know how it feels to be the one who's left behind. You'll never know the days, the tears I've cried. But now my time has come, and time is not on your side. See him move through smoke and mirrors, feel his presence in the crowd. Other girls, they gather around him. If I had him, I wouldn't let him out. Golden eye, not lace or leather. Golden chain, take him to the spot. Golden eye, I'll show him forever. It'll take forever to see what I've got. You'll never know from the shadows as a child. You never know how it feels to get so close and be denied. It's a gold and honey trap I got for you tonight. Revenge
could have gone for Tina Turner's Simply the Best, because Sooty obviously is. But we thought, actually, no, we'd do a spy thing with respect to Bond and so on, and GoldenEye. And now, if we actually listen very quietly, we might be able to hear... And what, pray tell, could this be?
Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood.
Yes, those Nottingham people desperately trying to get to the new Theatre Royal Lincoln because they know it's the best place ever. Or is it the Robin Hood open audition? What say you, Jasmine?
Yeah, so we have our open audition this Sunday, children's auditions, and it's from 1:30 till 4:30, and you need to just send us an email if you're interested. It's for 10 to 18-year-olds this Sunday. So yeah, you just need to send an email to admin@newtheatreroyallincoln.co.uk if you're interested, and we'll send you some more information and application.
Ollie, I will warn you, this earworm will actually work your way through the whole system, so you'll be humming this for the next few days, effectively. It's inevitable.
Don't worry, I'm trying not to sing at the moment. So.
Robin Hood. No.
Would you like to come to the audition?
Can I slap my thigh with joy? It's going to be absolutely awesome there, but I suspect that... there they are, you see.
Children, would you all like to join in with me? Robin Hood, riding through the glen.
The big question is, will you be featuring this in the production itself?
I think the songs to feature are still under wraps at the moment.
We cannot reveal anything.
We'll put it in as a bid with Natalie then. Put it in as a bid. The excitement is there. And that's almost brought us round to the end of another Royal Radio, which, as I say, a special has taken over the routine of Inspired on Air on this, the third Wednesday of the month here on Siren Radio. Of course, you can listen to the whole thing all over again on the podcast link, which is, of course, under the theatre aspects, and the links will be up there through the website. Socials, as ever, NTR Lincoln for Instagram, NTR Lincoln for Twitter, New Theatre Royal Lincoln for Facebook, and, of course, newtheatreroyallincoln.co.uk. And we've only just covered a smidgen, a teeny tiny smidgen of the awesomeness that's actually there, thanks certainly to the excitement of John Goodrum from The Devil's Bride, from Jessica Selous, and of course Quantum Theatre Company, Quantum of Solace, of course. There's been a Bond theme wrapped into that side of things there with Midsummer Night Stream, and of course Richard, Sooty's right-hand man. Fantastic. And of course in the studio, the voices of Ollie, Rushdie, no relation to Salmon, of course.
Maybe.
I don't think so. And the fantastic words of Jasmine Foley. Jasmine, good luck in a few days from now, because you'll be in Ireland, won't you?
I will, yeah.
What will you be doing in Ireland?
So I'm competing in the Galaxy Island competition after doing the Galaxy UK competition a couple of months ago, and I'm now competing in Ireland, so... we'll see.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with the next Royal Radio. Before you know where we are, what's our sort of strapline for happy theatre going? Would you say that, happy theatre going?
Break a leg?
Yeah, we've had that as well. Yeah. Okay, a 1, 2, 3.
Break a leg.
When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my sweetheart what lies ahead. Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my sweetheart said. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que said I, what will be, will be. Now I have children of my own. They ask their mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? I tell them tenderly, que sera, whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see, que sera, what will be, will be. Que sera.